Hello, everyone. You're welcome to the episode three of How to Music How to Sessions with Tommy Tush. Yeah, I'm Tommy Tush. They call me the tall MD with the word music. And today I'm going to be teaching you on how to create an excellent structure and culture for your choir. So call every music director, choir director, call every pastor to come and watch this. All right, this is very critical. Now, when people ask me, and I get this, question a lot, people come to me and they say, what, Tush, can you send us a copy of do's and don'ts, rules and regulations that used to use as a choir director. Our choir is going in while people are doing things and they are not, measuring up, and we just want to just have a copy of what you use. And I usually tell them I don't have rules and regulations. People are used to saying that, what, if you come late, you pay a fine 2,000. If you don't score songs, you stand on your chair and do those things. And maybe it works for some people, but this is in my experience as a music director. I don't think that really works, especially when you are dealing with adults, people who are upwardly mobile, very exposed. I mean, okay, you come now, somebody comes late, and then you tell the person to go and be walking around the tree and praying. Maybe it works for you. I'm not saying you are wrong, but I'm going to teach you a better way, right? Using the model of do's and don'ts, okay, kind of makes it kind of legal, puts this legalistic atmosphere around it where people feel like they're afraid. Okay. In fact, for some baby Christians, because you associate prayer to punishment for an offense, they may start seeing prayer as a punishment. Like I said, this may not be your case. It may be working for you in your choir, but there is a more excellent way. And what is that more excellent way? Is by creating a structure and a culture. And that's what I want to teach you. You see, what you need in your choir is to let people understand the culture of the choir. That is, there's a culture of excellence in that choir. So people understand why they need to arrive early for rehearsals, arrive early for service, dress properly, why they need to score songs, why they need to do certain things, why they need to abstain from certain things, because there's a culture. They understand why. It's just how they do things. They are not trying to follow a rule. It's just the way they are. So you see, you have not succeeded in your choir until people start acting based on who they are, not because they are trying to follow a rule in the book or because they are trying to avoid a fine. If people are coming early for rehearsals in your choir because they are trying to avoid a fine, trust me, you have not built a culture of timeliness. You have only built people who are trying to avoid paying some money. That's what you have done. What you want to do is you want to build people that have the culture of timeliness, that even when they leave that place, they will continue in that culture. So how do you create this? You first of all start by creating a structure, but that's not even the starting point. Let's go to the starting point. You see, every choir is a direct representation of the choir director, of the choir leader. Your choir represents who you are. If I want to know who you are, I just need to look at your choir. That's the reason why every choir director listening to me, you have to work really hard, pray, and ask God for grace and mercy to ensure that your choir succeeds, because the choir is just your CV, that's your resume. And the mistake many MDs make, many choir directors make, is that they try to make the choir to be something they are not. You see, the structure and the culture of the choir is a direct offshoot of who the choir leader is. So you find MDs that are not something, but they are shouting on their members to become that thing. You find leaders who don't pray, who don't study their Bible, who don't have a close walk with God, who don't score songs, who, probably also come late, and they are telling their members to do things. So that's where rules and regulations come in. So you cannot make people to do what you are not. So the first thing every MD has to ask yourself is that this thing I'm noticing in my choir, is that not a direct representation of who I am? So if you are noticing certain things in your choir, they need to look first of all inward. Stop looking outward. Stop trying to punish people. Ask yourself, maybe these people are just mirroring me. If, for example, in your choir discover that people are sleeping together, people are getting pregnant for other people, you want to look at yourself first of all. I'm not saying you are the problem, but at least start from yourself. Is there any seed of immorality you are sowing? Is there something you are doing? If your people are not spiritually sensitive, they don't know how to, flow with your pastor and all of those things, you want to check your own personal spiritual life. How are things with you? Right? You want to check that because the choir represents who you are. So you cannot create a structure or create a culture in your choir that is opposite of who you are. Very, very important. Okay. What many people do at times is they try to follow trends. And in these days where, there are a lot of videos on YouTube, a lot of reels coming up on social media, you find that a choir, people, many music teams are just trying to do what they see everywhere. So, where does structure and culture starts from? Number one, or you can call this number two. If you want to call the first one I mentioned about the MD number one, you can call this number two. There must be a vision. Your culture and your structure must be a derivative of the vision of the choir. Now, every choir must have a vision that makes them stand out and makes them unique. A vision that makes them stand out and makes them unique from other music teams. You see, we live in the days where people are just trying to do what is trending. They're trying to do what everybody is doing. In that way, you cannot build an excellent structure, an excellent culture in your choir. You're just copying. Oh, what's this choir wearing? What kind of songs are they doing? You're just doing it. You're not. So that means that you're not building according to pattern. You see, because structure and culture follows a pattern. The songs that you do in your choir every week must be like you are laying building blocks. There's something you want to achieve. There's an edifice you're building. And so every action you take, everything you don't do as well, is leading you to where you are going. All right. So it's important that you figure out what the vision for your choir is. Go into your secret place, pray, think, and say, what is going to stand this choir out? Because you cannot establish when you have a vision, then the next thing is you are now creating a structure to achieve that vision. So it's not about saying, okay, you have a choir, so there must be an assistant choir director, there must be head of this one, head of that one. No. That's not how it is done. Remember where we started from? Excellence starts from the MD. When the MD is not excellent, the choir cannot be excellent. When the MD is disorganized, the choir will be disorganized. When the MD is not spiritually sensitive, the choir will not be spiritually sensitive. So whatever it is that is lacking in you as a choir leader, you need to know how to fix it in yourself, or you staff your weakness. There are many choirs that their leader is not technically sound, and it's already shown in the music. So while the leader is actually trying to grow in music, what the leader should do is to find somebody who is technically sound to act as the music director, while that leader maybe has administrative functions. Because the deficiency of that technical knowledge in that leader will show up in the choir's music. That's just the way it works, right? So have a vision. What is the vision of your choir? What stands your choir out? What are you trying to achieve? Where are you heading in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 35 years? Write it down. Now, begin to ask yourself, what are the things we need to put in place? Administrative-wise, music-wise, financially, to be able to achieve this vision. That is the structure. So the structure that choir A is using may be different from the structure that choir B is using. The way choir A runs will be different from the way choir B runs. Why? Because they have different visions. And it is in that establishing of structures that now affects the culture, the behavior of the choir. I mean, when I started directing choir, because I had the vision, that I shared with the music team, it affected how we did our songs, how we rehearsed. Some people wonder why you guys rehearsing this number of times in a week. Is because there's a vision. And so people understand why they need to rehearse, why they need to score their song. So nobody has to beg you to come for rehearsal. So you will find your way, you will make the sacrifice, you will find the money, you will do whatever it is you need to do. Why? Because there is a vision. The reason why people are not passionate in your choir is because they cannot find what the choir is aiming towards for them to make that sacrifice. Trust me, people will sacrifice for what they love. Yeah. People will make sacrifices for what they love. They will make sacrifices for a cause that is worth it. So, what you have not proven to your members is you have not shown them that there is something that you are doing in your choir that is worth them making such sacrifices for. Hope you are listening to me, right? So, structure. What does structure mean? Structure also means that you build a system in your choir that helps your choir to run even when you are not physically present. Many music teams will crash once the current MD leaves. And you know what? Some MDs are so happy. Without me in that choir, they can't do anything. Really? You hand over in a choir and then they are calling you. You hand over in a choir and the choir is messing up because you are not the leader and you think that's a thing of joy to be happy about. No, you should cover your face because that means that you did not set structures in place. Am I saying it's easy? No, but that's the work of a leader. You must set structures in place. That is, the team must be able to run without you physically present. You must set structures in place so that everybody knows how things are done in the choir. Nobody is oblivious of how things are done. They know that if you want to join this choir, this is the process. If you want to be a worship leader, this is the process. If you want to do this is the process. They know that the MD is not using favoritism. They know that the MD is not just acting based on how he feels or how she feels per time. There is a process. If you're going to be late for meetings or absent, there is a way things are done. So set those structures, set spiritual structures. How do you pray? How do you grow people spiritually? Set musical structures. How do people grow musically? Set structures for everything. It's not that you on Saturday you'll be announcing the costume for Sunday. No. Set a structure, establish a team. It's okay. You team drop what we're going to wear for the rest of the year. Who told you that you have to be doing every month? Why can't you prepare a costume schedule for a whole year? Why do you have to be choosing every week? And you guys will be arguing, no, me, I don't have Ankara pant, or no, we wore bongo the last week. Why are we wearing baby pink? Baby pink is not for men. You are arguing because there are no structures. Structures help a team to run independent of sentiment. All right? Independent of sentiment. Okay, so one thing you need to do is that when you establish a vision, you now need to teach the people and then model it and then repeat it. You can't just say it once and then they catch it. No, it's not going to work that way. You will say it once, you keep on repeating it. I remember when I first joined my church many years ago, over 20 years ago, many times my pastor will come before us in the workforce and he will repeat the vision and the mission of the church and he will teach and teach. And he was doing like every week, he was always doing, and sometimes I wonder, why is this man repeating this thing? Saying it in so many ways. Now, years later, I now fully understood what he was saying because you see, people don't catch a vision once. No, they don't. You need to paint the picture, use pictures, use videos. You need to talk, you need to use jokes. You need to use different formats to be able to allow people to catch the vision for that choir. So that when you are now telling them to do certain things, to imbibe it in their culture, they understand why. You see, because when people don't understand why, they will fight it. They are wondering, why are you telling us to do this? Why are you telling us to do this? It's because they don't understand the vision. So you need to keep on repeating those things. Say it often. Tell them. Now, as the leader, you now need to model it. Don't tell people to do things that you are not doing. The reason why many music teams are failing is because the MD, choir leader, is telling them to do things that leader himself or herself is not doing. So you need to model it and repeat it. Make sure that excellence becomes a culture for your team and it becomes normal, not something that is exceptional. Some of you celebrate some things that should be normal. And that's why many people have some mindset that is not allowing excellence to be a culture in their choir. I've heard people say that no, in a choir, they must be off key. People must sing rubbish. It's not possible. We are human beings. Really? So you don't think that it's possible for a choir to go and minister and their performance is excellence and everything is top notch? You see, because you don't believe, you cannot achieve it. Because you believe that in every choir there must be a problematic person, there must be a Judas, you will always have it. So the mindset of the leader is very, very important. And that leader must pass the mindset to the people as well. So let excellence become the norm, that it will take being deliberate to be mediocre. I want you to listen to what I just said right now. Let it be that even when you do not rehearse, even when you are just playing around, what comes out of your choir is excellence. That you will have to be deliberate to do anything that is mediocre. That is when you know that you have created a culture of excellence. And then also reward that excellence. At the beginning, when you are establishing these things, you will need to point people out that, can you see what this person is doing? I mean, I did that, I had people that were always scoring the songs and always, can you see, this is what I expect everybody to do. Score the songs. Don't wait for me to come and be dragging you. Reward excellence. Let people be models. Okay? All right. Now, for structures to work, you need to delegate. Right? Many leaders are the ones doing everything. You will find many MDs, they'll be the ones to teach parts, do this one. I tell MDs, your job is not to be teaching parts. Let the people know how to score songs by themselves. You do it. There are many things you're supposed to be doing. So as a leader, you must know how to delegate. Even if you are 3 in that choir, know how to delegate. Delegate. Train people. Spend time. I remember a particular year, I spent I spent more than half of the year training people. Was it easy? No. But I knew that if I did not train them, I would be stepping in to do things that they should do themselves. And then I will be boxed. I will have to be around. I won't be able to progress to bigger things. So you need to understand that if you don't train people, you are going to keep them grounded and you will not also grow yourself. So train people. Train people. Delegate and monitor them. When you train them, allow them to run things. That's how to create structures. All right. Now, I believe that if you follow this principle, rather than just having do's and don'ts, it will work. If you just put do's and don'ts, people are just going to be they want to just be in your good books. They don't really understand why they are doing what they are doing. But you want to create people that are intellectuals, people that understand why they are doing what they are doing, so that when you leave that position as the MD, they can carry on and make that excellent. Now, what I just shared with you, simple, but I'm telling you, is going to help your choir a lot. Now, like I said, if you want me to guide you into creating a vision, creating a structure, and establishing an excellent culture in your choir, you can book a one-on-one session with me on this. Let me walk you through it together. All right? Let's walk through it together. Let me walk you through this. Let's get the best result for your team. All right? Till the next episode. I'm Tommy Tush. They call me the tall MD with the worry music. I wish you and your music team all the best. Bye. My soul to Java, from the fire.